I know what my dreams are. It's day 40. Yes, this day has come. I'm so happy, first of all, that this day has come, but also because of everything that has resulted from these 40 days, which started out as water fasting, and as I said at the beginning, would transition into one meal a day, and I've been doing that. I counted up how many days I've been water fasting, which was most of it, and I ended up doing one meal a day for 16 days. So 24 days I did water fasting. And I have exciting news that my healing is not over yet. And I have decided I am so ready. I've been wanting to do this for a few days actually. And I've decided I'm going to do water fasting properly tomorrow. Not that I wasn't doing it properly before, but instead of putting a time limit on it, I'm just going to see how many days I can do it. I'm going to water fast until I want to break it. So it's going to be a total willpower, no day counting. Not like 20 days or 40 days. Obviously, I will be counting days. And actually, what I will be doing is giving you all my stats. So I will be syncing my Fitbit, resting heart rate, and giving you all my sleep, and getting a lot more technical than I was in this one. This one was more spiritual, which was what a ride. And now I'm decided, you know what, this was just incredible. My healing is not over yet. So I want to now do the physical. So I'm going to have my last meal today. It's going to be a carb up because that's the best way for me to go into a fast. I have more energy. Basically, you have more energy to clear out your bowels faster. And yeah, that's kind of my personal experience of it. Too much information? I don't know. I'm telling you as it is. That's what you're going to get with me. I give you the details and I give you the honest truth. I don't lie. Yep, so mention that. I'm also going to make another video, probably tomorrow when I start my fast, of what I am going to allow and just basically what it's going to look like. When Jesus did his 40-day fast, he did that before he started his ministry. That's why I decided to do this fast, because I felt stuck, I was unhappy, I was depressed. If you guys saw any of my earlier videos, I was dealing with the trauma of my nightmare neighbor. So when Jesus did his fast, that's how he kickstarted his ministry, basically, from what I know. I'm not a theologian. So I thought, oh, this is a great way, changing my life, great way to start a new chapter and move things forward. And I did not plan this. I know what my dreams are. I did not plan it. I'm like, I know what I want to do with the rest of my life. Because if you guys watched like a few videos ago, like I don't love what I do anymore. Like I felt like, I can see where all of these problems and comfort eating is comfort eating. Oh my gosh, like I've totally even forgotten about that now. So yeah, it's amazing. I know what I want to do for the rest of my life. I feel like I'm starting my own ministry now, to use that symbolism. But I just wrote a few things. These aren't inclusive of everything, but things that I've benefited from in this 40-day fast. So I lost weight and I did put some back on. But yeah, I still, in the total gram scheme of things, I still lost quite a few kilograms. Major healing of my trauma. When I started this 40-day fast, because I was traumatized and depressed and miserable, and one of the traumas I mentioned a lot, was my nightmare neighbor. I got stuck with a neighbor for 5 months who gave me incredible sleep deprivation, and I really suffered a lot. I'm not going to go into detail, but it was really, really hell. Sent me into depression. I was not in a good place. Like spiritually, I felt like, God, you abandoned me. Like, I don't get this. Like, you say you can move mountains with a word. Like, why couldn't you do this? So if you want to know the details, you can go watch some of the earlier videos in the beginning of the fast, and I talk about it more. So that, I've totally forgotten about it now. Yeah, totally healed. I had a new neighbor move in. I also mentioned that in this new fast. And I realized last night, I was working, and all of a sudden I realized, hold on, there's been footsteps above me for a while now, and I've totally not realized it. I've totally ignored it. And that's when you know you're healed. And then I wrote it down. And as soon as I wrote it down, I had another thought and I kept on writing. And then I read what I'd written. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about the footsteps that I was hearing. So yeah, total healing of that trauma, which is incredible because it was a real trauma. I would have panic. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I was completely stressed out whether there was noise or there wasn't noise. I wouldn't even be in the flat and I'd be like, oh my gosh, what am I going to, like, fear would fill me. It was trauma. Okay, I know what trauma is. I'm healed. Jesus is good to me. I also saved money on my groceries. Also, during this 40-day fast, I was meant to go back to work, and because of the coronavirus, I am not going back to work. Yep, my paychecks run out. I get weekly paychecks. I got a paycheck today. Next week is my last paycheck. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, so I saved money on groceries in this fast, and yeah, there's also a small incentive to do the water fast. I'm like, let's just save a little bit more money on groceries. I'm actually disappointed because I was really looking forward to buying some squash, and I know squash season is running out. So I'm disappointed about that. I love squash. In South Africa, I grew up eating gem squash every year. So, oh yeah, another benefit. I didn't have to floss for most of the fast. Like, oh yeah, come on. Like, don't get me wrong. Who's gonna miss flossing their teeth? Not floss dancing. I meant flossing my teeth, okay. Yeah. So, and there's a few other benefits, but I've forgotten what they are. Those are just the ones that I wrote down. I also got my ketone tester up and running, so I'm also going to be giving you glucose and ketone readings. And spiritual thought of the day. Yesterday I was thinking, addiction, like I was thinking about eating disorders and addiction in general, and from my experiences and from the stories that you hear about other people. Like, I'm not a smoker, but from what I know about smokers, I've had I think 2 smokers tell me like they want to quit but they just can't, and they know it's not good for them, but they just can't quit. And you see all the packets, and they're pretty disgusting. They put these horrible images on them, but they can't quit. That's what they tell me. And when I think of my own experience, I have done things in my life where you're sabotaging your body, but it's and you want to change, but you can't change. You're stuck. It's like this thing it's like this big blanket that's over your head that stops you from being free. It's like suffocates your free thinking, the true you thinking, the thinking you feel that when you're alive, when you feel like you can conquer the world. That's from my experience what it feels like. And I've mentioned talking about forgiveness. And I mentioned about forgiving 70 times 7. It's not about allowing somebody to hurt you 70 times 7, but it's about when something happens in your life and you choose to forgive someone, and then the same thing that they did to you that you chose to forgive. Obviously, forgiveness is hard, and you get angry again, and you go, no, I choose forgiveness. And that to me is what that verse it can mean. I'm sure it can mean lots of things, but that to me is like the big sort of meaning that I take from it. Forgive 70 times 7. So even 5 years down the line, after you've forgiven someone and forgotten them, and then you remember, and that thing that they did makes you angry again, you go, no, I choose to forgive them. So that's forgiveness 70 times 7. Well, I thought, fighting addiction is like that. Because in my experience, I had to fight it so many times. I lost count of how many times I'd be like, no, I don't want to do this. And even though you fail, so for example smoking, even though you go and you smoke a cigarette and you go, no, I want to quit, and then you try to imagine what you look like when you're quitting, it's not as simple as doing a 21-day detox, because apparently, according to Dr. Caroline Leaf, according to science, it takes 21 days to build a habit, but a total of 63 days to make it automatized, so you don't think about it. So fighting this addiction certainly took me more than 21 days. Took me way more than 63 days. It takes years, okay? It takes years to fight an addiction. So I thought, well, you know what? Fighting addiction is like forgiveness. You have to choose to fight it 70 times 7. You have to choose to go, no, I'm not gonna. And even when you fail, when you're failing, and even while you're smoking, you go, this drives me nuts. I'm like, I want to quit so bad, but I'm smoking. And whenever I would do that with my addiction, I would be like, it would always drive me to break it. Like, it would always drive the desperation to break it even more. And I think that's what finally allowed me to break it, was the desperation I would get while I was doing this bad habit, to be like, I want to break this habit. And you get so angry, and it's, it's shameful. You don't want to talk about it. I'm not telling you what it is because, it's shameful and you're embarrassed. You don't want to talk, even though you're totally not alone in this world, even though like millions of people across the world have the same addiction as you. It still fills you with shame. You don't want to talk about it. It's personal to you because it's something that's deep down in your core. So when you fight addiction, keep fighting. I don't know how. Yeah, that was my thought of the day. Not really much to do with fasting, but at the same time, everything to do with fasting, because fasting totally can break addiction. Yeah, I broke my addiction through fasting. So there you go. I'm just talking about me. Like, I'm not telling you guys what to do. I'm just da 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 da. Oh my gosh, it's day 40. My whole life has changed. Oh my gosh. So Jesus did his 40-day fast, and then he started his ministry, and I wanted to do this 40-day fast because I was like, enough, God, I've had enough of my life the way it is. Like Jensen Franklin's fasting is hungering for God. In the Bible, they were eating donkeys' heads and dove's dung, and I was like, God, I don't want to consume my life with metaphorically speaking, donkeys' heads and dove's dung, stuff that you don't really need in your life. You buy stuff, buy more clothing. You're just filling your life up with stuff that you don't need. Like, God, I don't want this in my life. I want to live my life the way I want to live it, free. And celebrate good times. Come on, yeah, man. So, I might post another video tonight. I'm going to have my 1 meal a day. Maybe, I don't know, probably not. I'm going to start tomorrow with my water fast, giving you my stats. Oh, I forgot to sync my Fitbit today. Well, I'm going to be doing that a lot more regularly. Syncing my Fitbit, that is. And I will see you tomorrow.